Cannot breathe, cannot see, cannot breathe, cannot breathe, cannot see, cannot breathe. Horizon's too high, it's dark on my side. I made my own clouds, fueled by my pride. The ship falls away, the night turned to day. Remember why? Fire consumed, ashes remain. Cannot breathe, cannot see, cannot breathe, cannot breathe, cannot see, cannot breathe. Cannot breathe. Cannot see. Cannot look in between. I cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between.
What up, everybody? Welcome, hello, and welcome to Monday night. Happy Halloween. We're pretty spooky in here. Who's hyped? Sean Byrne is hyped. Shout out to Sean Byrne. Shout out to Tub of Rock, Sean Byrne, Steve Fraser. Congratulations as everybody's joining us for another episode of our Monday night show. Let's give a little look at this, Steve. I made you something. Boom. You get your own SoCal Blaze emoji right now. Shout out to Sean Dolan. Callie Mike Lou. Yep. Cup countdown. That's right. I made two emojis. This is you. This little skeleton. He's got a lunch. He's got a candy bag that says Impact on it, and then this little thing is me.
Dynasty Ghost.
Yeah, Dynasty Ghost. Steve Fraser, congrats. I know you guys didn't take the win. We're going to talk about that today. Yep, we've got a really good show for you guys. As everybody's jumping in here, I want to say thanks for all the support. Last week's show was our biggest and our best show yet, over 1,250 views. Now, I know these aren't Dizon Doc numbers, but, we're ramping up, and it's getting good, and we're really excited. We've got a great show for you guys. We've got this one's going to be more oriented to special viewer spotlight topics. We've got Joe Pike and Markus Kings gave us a couple of good topics to cover, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit now, along with updates from around the league.
Oh yeah.
You coached a team this week. You practiced this weekend.
Yeah. A lot of paintball going on. It's crazy. It's a big turn of events from where we were a few months ago.
That's right. Things are totally ramping up. And again, obviously excited for the Halloween emojis that we have in there for the members. If you guys are just joining us, I know a couple of you seen us. This is these two right here. The little skeleton holding the candy bag is actually Kyle Spicka trick-or-treating, and then the spooky ghost is me. And then
Miles.
Yeah, shout out to Miles. And, you know, as always, this is a Q&A show as well, so I see there's a couple questions coming in here. And then we're going to get to those. Shout out to Dom W. All of our members, we do appreciate all of your guys' support as it comes in. For those of you guys who would like to become a member, you just click the little join button down below, and you can choose your membership package. Everything from membership package 2 and 3, the second and third tier, you're going to get some discount codes. Some of the guys have already been cashing in on the HK Army discount code and the IndoSoul discount code. I'm also getting you guys a Field 1 discount code. I'm just waiting on Yosh to hammer that one out. Also kind of first crack at some releases. I sent the Galaxy Forces out to everybody who's in the member section. They were the first ones to get that link as well.
That thing came out good.
Yeah, that thing's really cool looking. I might have to steal that for next week, or my next year's gun. And then yeah, it just helps support us, helps us allow us to buy batteries to keep Kyle's costume inflated this entire episode. Also, I just finished up with a big day at the post office. Spent $100 in shipping stuff all around the world. A couple of winners packages. There's posters that we've got. So yeah, it just helps, you know, with all of that stuff.
Sure.
So I want to give a quick shout out to the boys in Arizona for coming correct, keeping me stocked. They came out to the AZ Battle Zone, and with the smoked trout fillets. I already ate one, you know, so that you gave me 4. I've already eaten one of them.
Dan, how many you've been shipping out?
So far, we might give one of those away. Today, I think, is going to be our best one yet for giveaways.
Yeah,
we've got a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff to give away. And actually, I want to start with the giveaway right off the break, because we want to like incorporate people from throughout the whole week. You know, we get a lot of people that aren't able to tune in on Monday or just didn't know about it.
Sure.
So for everybody who likes and comments on the video throughout the week, we choose one of you guys as a winner, and I'm going to give you something away right off the break. So Cows Kill 355 commented on our last week's video, and I really liked it. He actually said that he likes this show more than he likes the Play the Game podcast.
Oh, wow.
He told me not to tell Tyler or Marcelo, so as long as you guys keep it quiet, I won't tell them either. But for that, in the comment, you're going to win a prize. You're either going to get one of these Field 1 face masks, if you'd like, or I'll hook you up with a G2 t-shirt, but you just got to let me know which one you want.
Or smoked trout.
Or smoked trout, I guess, if you really want a smoked trout fillet. So you let me know which one you want, and I'm gonna make that happen to you. So that's for Cows Kill, and that's actually for anybody else who's just tunes in throughout the week and enjoys our show. One of the other 1,000 or 1,249 of you who've watched last week's show, and even the guys who are here on here live right now. If you guys just throw a comment or a like up there, that's doubles, triples your chances to win again another prize.
Yeah, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up down there.
Yeah, that does help. I know you were talking to Steve Frazier about that.
Yeah, how we have like 100 people watching.
Yeah.
Only 20 likes or something.
Yeah, come on guys, let's ramp that up. So why don't you talk about SoCal Blaze?
Yeah, so Steve Frazier down there. I've been talking to them for a few weeks about coming out to help them, and one of the local fields up in Paris, California, ASG Action Star Games was having one of their, I think it's their second one so far this year, a divisional tournament for D4 and D5 teams. Came out there, and this was actually my first time working with this team at all. We had a Zoom meeting the Friday night before. Yeah, thanks, D-Zon. So we had a Friday Zoom call the night before just to go over some basics and kind of, what they expect out of me, what I expected out of the team guys, and what to expect, going into the tournament. And we actually, we struggled through the first game, and I wanted to bring up something really important that I think a lot of teams can take out of this. They didn't tell me this till after it, but I said, hey, since we have the first match of the day, super early, 7:30. I was like, let's just take this first match really slow. Let's not think about, obviously we want to win, but let's not think of the outcome. Let's think of this first match as getting warmed up for the day. This first match is going to set the longevity through the day. So let's plan to play a long game.
Okay.
I don't care about being
That's
aggressive.
smart.
I don't care about trying anything crazy. Let's get the flow. It's like a boxing match or a fighting match at the beginning where you're just trying to figure out the other team, but also figuring out ourselves. So we actually came out and we won that first match, but played a long, grinded out game so we could work on some things, get some communication going, and that ended up helping us throughout the whole tournament. And the guys came up to me at the end of the tournament like, man, we have this curse of losing our first game because we just like we're so worried about winning it.
Yeah.
And we like that perspective of having just to go out and play and like a warm up, like almost like a practice. And I think that took a lot of pressure off. And a big thing throughout the day was minor stuff, like where our stuff was stationed in between points. If it was too far away, making sure that we got back to it fast enough. That was an issue. We actually in that first match, I think it might have been the second match actually, we started with 4 because 2 of the guys had went so far away that we couldn't find them. And everyone, the 4 guys that I had on the field, I was out there with them and they're screaming for the other 2 guys, screaming. I was like, hey, it's done. They're not coming. Like, I know they're not coming. Even if they come, it's like we have 6 guys. So we're playing with 4. This is what we're going to do. You guys are going to go execute. And we dominated at that point. We won with 3 up. And they shot one of us off the break.
No way.
So it was a 5-on-3 within the first 10 seconds. We came out on top. And, a lot of the guys were appreciative. And they're like, thank you for calming us back down. And, long story short, it was a 5-man best of 3 3 points. And we went into the finals. And we actually stalemated with the final team. But each point won out of those 3 points came down to who scored their point fastest. And we both walked out there for overtime point, and they're like, no, this is how it works. They won, the other team won, and we're like, oh man, both our team and their team were like, well, we kind of were ready to play this overtime point. And so the refs were like, you know what, you guys can play. It doesn't matter. I don't want to hear anything about it, but like you guys can play it just for fun. And they refed and everything, let us play, and we dominated that point. So we won the last consolidation overtime, which it's bittersweet. I mean, for that other team, I might be like, man, that kind of sucks. Thank God that was an overtime point, but for our guys too, that
it's a huge confidence boost.
Yeah, and so take it kind of like we won.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, and Steve, you can answer this because I know you're watching. How do you feel? Is that I know you gave just right there, you gave Kyle all props, but I know that you guys were shooting guys also. But was that a major improvement from how they normally finish?
I think that they do kind of fall in that area.
Top 4
a lot.
Top 5.
But and they have some battles with a lot of the teams that we played, especially the guys that we played. One of the teams that we actually beat to go to play first and second place is a team they always battle with, and we came out and in all humility, I think a lot of the game plans helped because we were able to focus on shutting down one of their main players, who wasn't actually even an attacker. He was the one most experienced guy on the opposite team that was quarterbacking everything, and I just didn't want to allow him to get behind his front guys to quarterback them into winning. So we just shut him down. We couldn't really shoot him off the break. He was in basically a home position, but we didn't let him leave that position. We shot all the other players and kind of like leave him by himself, and we ended up taking down that team and winning and going on to play for first, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, and what's one thing that you mentioned there that I had talked about with my New York Fearful team, and then the other couple teams that we've been coaching online is just going up to coach our guys in the WCPPL events is organization.
Yeah.
Right. So organization is something that everybody. It just seems like it's such a trivial thing, but I always say you want to control the variables that you can control. Right. Organization could be anything from making sure you pick up your paint at the right time or you get it out of the sun, making sure you have a couple of maps printed out so you can write game plans on, talking about the game plan before, putting batteries in your gun, all the variables that you can control prior to walking out there. Or a great one is, hey, we play after these 2 teams, right? So knowing when you should be at the field or in your pit or always being together. And when I was giving the Fearful guys a lot of the information, I was like, hey, this is kind of like, just get a rotation going, a minor rotation, so you guys aren't ever like walking out on the field with 4 guys, which is very common. Yeah. That even happens sometimes. You'll see it once or twice in an event at the pro level as well. And so organization is something everybody can just take a little bit of time out of their tournament schedule to like make sure that you guys are prepared. And everybody's prepared, and what it'll do is it'll actually calm your nerves a little bit more. I think, you know.
And starting to go back to add on to this is that was a big issue we had in the first 2 matches, and luckily one of the matches we did win, but we didn't have enough time for me to go over the game plans before they walked on the field because it was so chaotic.
Right.
And I was like, I have so much. I could spend 30 minutes talking to you guys about this one point, but if you're not here with me, then it's going to be scattered. I think that they realize how valuable that was because now they were rushing to get the air and paint and make sure everything was ready so they could come to me and soak in everything. Mm-hmm. And then from there, after those 2 matches, everyone was ready right away because they saw the value of that.
Right, yeah, and that's like a problem that a lot of people have, but they just don't ever understand how to like address the issue, right? So with you coaching them, like imagine you being that organized and then playing against your old selves who are racing around, bumping into each other, running on the field, not knowing where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
The more organized you is going to win every time.
Yeah. We won a match super disorganized, and that was the same match that we played before. And I said, kudos to you guys for pulling that out, but I was like, I'm being dead serious right now, like as a team and like NXL Pro event, if that was Impact, even playing against you guys in your division, if we came out that disorganized and you guys are playing your best paintball, I would expect that we lost. Yeah. And I was like, I'm happy you guys won, but like we should have lost that match. And I think that gave us some longevity. And
yeah, and Mario, thanks for pointing that out. BKI is always on point with their stuff. That's right. We actually have a couple of videos that are specifically about being prepared. There's a preparation in the pits drill, or I guess more of like a theory thing that I talk about, kind of like how to organize your pits. Rusty has a ton of coaching stuff on there that will help with organization. Obviously, all of our breakdowns for we're gonna have the World Cup breakdown released on Thursday. Field layout comes out on Wednesday, which we'll talk about, and on Thursday BKI drops the breakdown of the layout. I don't know who's gonna do it. I know Marcel is so pumped on the layout, like he's really pumped. So he'll probably bully us all.
Do that a lot.
Yeah, Nick Sloviak and Marcel will probably bully us all out of the way to do it.
Yeah.
But as far as preparation goes, like that information is so valuable, and Nick's actually been doing a really good job of releasing a lot of the layouts. So that's another thing for a lot of you out there. If you are BKI members and you have a layout or an event coming up, you could just message us and say, hey, can you guys do a breakdown for this? And most likely we'll have the time to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a incredibly valuable asset to have, because as most of you listening to this know, or maybe a handful of you guys, you're probably like, layout breakdowns, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
And it goes back to the organization thing, just getting everything dialed in and organized, so that way you can be better prepared to handle whatever situation might be thrown at you.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that Louisville Fusion team.
Yeah.
They hadn't played the field layout.
Yeah.
Really, and we saw that it was a field layout that has some huge lanes, and we're like, this is what you can expect. Mm-hmm. If that doesn't happen, this is what you can expect. Mm-hmm. So go into it understanding these kind of, core concepts of how this field might play. Mm-hmm. And I think they were prepared for that, so it didn't bite them, because they were just, they were able to learn that early, right away, all the options. Right. Versus, and then have all those options and see which one it played out to, and then elevate their game from that.
Yeah, and that's why I think that the Thursday's release will be live for everybody. So the BKI site, which there's a link in the description down there, you can sign up for a free account, and I believe with the free account, usually we give the very first breakdown for free, and then next week we're gonna give you guys a really detailed, in-depth breakdown, and that'll come with like game plans, like a little playbook. So Impact's playbook, Dynasty's playbook, Ironman's playbook. Who else do we have that's on the BKI team that is from another team? I think it's just Ironman, Impact, and maybe Infamous. Anyway, so you're gonna get a bunch of game plans regardless. Yeah. I think it's basically just us and you guys and Nick. So you're gonna get a ton of that, and that'll be for members only. But again, it's going to give you, if you're going to World Cup, it's going to give you a huge leg up. And I'm assuming that the World Cup layout, once it comes out, will be the layout that most tournaments will end up using throughout like the off-season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For like 2-3 months.
Yeah. So, check it out. I guess we had a question in there too. I was thinking about this too, which is so ambiguous, but what do you think the layout's going to be? Do you think it's going to be a traditional where there's going to be a long snake where you can finally get in it and get behind people?
I think it's going to be a crazy mayhem layout.
Like up the middle nonsense?
Up the middle with like a strong snake and strong Dorito side. It's like, I feel like they, might make it so it's like harder to shoot people off the break, and I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, anybody in the comment section, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be traditional, simple? Do you think there's going to be a crazy, crazy middle, a really powerful snake?
Yeah.
Because there haven't been a lot of really powerful snakes in the past.
Yeah.
The Vegas was good.
Yeah.
Vegas was a power snake.
Yeah.
I don't know,
the World Cup.
World Cup
2018 maybe, where it had the double snake entry. It had the outside and the big part. That was pretty good.
But it had those little cakes, though. That was a problem. It had those little cakes.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like a very strong way to get into it. And last year's snake was not very strong.
No.
It was really hard to get to that God bunker, and then once you got into the snake, which was also tough, it was hard to get behind people.
Yeah.
But when you could get to their side, you were pretty dominant. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, the layout we played this weekend was actually the Paris layout, where it had the 4 stand-ups in the middle.
Yeah.
And Blake was going up the middle, and it was a very counterattack field. Like if one team was blowing through the Dorito side, you had to blow through this opposite side, but it was like a read and react, which I loved. And we actually played it again. I went back to ASG yesterday with Brandon Cornell, myself, Alex Goldman, and A-Rod, and we played the Gummy Bears out there on the same layout. And you could see Gummy Bears are a really strong team, but because of how many switches needed to happen and how many components, which is a personal favorite of mine, I like when a field incorporates everybody and it takes you off your job when you have to. Like a front guy can turn into a back guy and has to pick up zones and get off his job. Those are my favorite type of layouts, where everyone's incorporated, and that's kind of how that field was.
Yeah, that was a fun layout. I mean, we practiced it. We played it that one day for a little bit.
Yeah.
The weekend before, like it's last weekend.
Yeah.
So that was I like that one. I didn't even notice it because we were kind of like trying to pick our brains. What field layout is this? Couldn't figure it out, but it was that Paris layout, which was fun. We actually did really well at that event.
Yeah.
Didn't beat the Russians.
Yeah,
but
we should have won that game.
I know. I think we should have also. Hey, shout out real quick. I see Ben Sloffer's in the house here. So congrats to Ben Sloffer, also BKI and summer camp and combine and just all around hard worker. And Colton Dahl got picked up with adrenaline. They're going to be playing semi-pro at World Cup. Is that right, Ben? You're going to be playing semi-pro with adrenaline? I want to confirm this before we say too much, before we get in trouble. I guess the news last week was preemptive. But I want to say I've got word again that Colton and Ben Sloffer are going to be playing semi-pro with adrenaline, which is, as everybody knows, one step below before being pro. And
That's
I mean,
huge.
I don't even think you guys have your driver's license yet.
No, I don't think they do.
So congrats again. And we were talking about this last week, right? It was why are some kids so soft these days, and why do some kids lack the drive? And we were pointing out some players that are up and coming, and some of the BKI members that are younger that have been in the program for a while. And Colton and Ben are great examples of that. You two, Slayer, I see you in there as well. I've seen you guys grow from, well, you're still relatively small. Actually, I'm sure both of you guys can beat us up at this point. But you guys are starting to develop, and one thing that you're getting is more confidence, right? So that's the one big thing, right? You were small growing up, so was I, but getting shot really sucked.
Yeah. I mean, a good thing to attest to what you're talking about too is Brandon Trujillo yesterday. A-Rod and Brandon Cornell, they don't know who he is. I know who he is, obviously, because we work with him a lot. And he was just cruising down the field. He was, being our thorn in the side and bunkering people and shooting people every point, no matter what. Even if he's losing guys on his team. And Mouse and Brandon came to him like, Who is this kid? He's going down and talked to Mario, came over, and he's 15, and Mouse is like, man, I just keep hoping that he's not the one in front of me, because I don't want to get bunkered by him every game.
Told you.
Yeah, and then I was which was hilarious, he was out there crushing it, no fear, and keep going every point, and they were like, man, keep what you're doing, stay with what you're doing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So shout out to those guys. I mean, all those kids are also Team USA hopefuls, going to be representing the squad out there. Smurf Sean Stern came out yesterday and practiced with us
Nice.
as our 10th guy out in also another Team USA.
Sweet.
Team USA player, so he was out there practicing with us on Dynasty. We just had a 3-day Hell Week practice. That was really rough for some of the guys out there. So that was a lot of fun. We were out in Arizona, went to Wild West Paintball, and then to AZ Battle Zone. So that was cool. Just kind of, hey, shout out to Fearful. There they are. We were just talking about you guys. Let's see here. So really quickly, before we jump into Joe Pike's questions or his topic, which is kind of about like
really detailed email.
Real
that he
detailed
sent
email.
to us. Thank you for
I
that.
appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. And it's kind of just about how to kind of legitimize what we're watching and how to make a better package for professional paintball, and some of the things that he brought up. We've talked about it in the past, and we've done it, implemented it in past leagues, and we'll get to that here in a second. But really quickly, we want to thank G2 Paintball, because as I mentioned that Hell Week thing, I finally got to really personally firsthand test out the G2.
Yeah.
We're like, oh yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people saw it. Like you guys had the pictures up.
Yeah, we had pictures. Yeah,
and
but I was kind of making fun of some of the guys on the team, but while sucking wind,
Yeah.
But we had the ladder, and this was like a pretty easy part of it. Like this is our warm up. Was a pretty easy warm up.
Yeah.
And it was the ladder drill down, and then he had the hurdle things you jump over, and I'm obviously just joking around, pretending like, oh, this is nothing,
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, everybody's got to do a trick at the end, and everybody's jumping. I don't know if you saw the picture of Vic.
I saw Vic, yeah.
And I made him do it, and just having a lot of fun with it. But it was pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
And I understand exactly what he was coming from, but it was good to be able to see it firsthand. So like for those of you guys out there in Arizona, I know it. And our guys too, right? Nobody wanted to do it on Sunday because everybody was pretty banged up on Sunday morning. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh no, we got to do this again, And it's like, look, let's just warm it up. It is really good for you to be able to do all this stuff, and it makes sense to keep that agility, right? Because a lot of guys haven't really been working out that hard.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get to Marcus King's question also, but it helps you to avoid injury. Right, if you're really limber, and then you do a really good stretch afterwards.
Sure.
So it is important to get fatigued, and I think that was pretty good about the G2 thing. And actually, we were talking about it, and we were talking about possibly getting G2 to come out to the summer camp next year to do the morning workouts. So either Vic or Rusty or whoever it is, and coming in there and really putting in that input in those morning workouts. Like I know you did some of them.
Yeah.
But it really puts a better structure on everything, and then kind of hammers home that aspect of paintball, right? Because we're athletes, right? You and I are, and most of the people listening to this are athletes, whether you think of yourself as an athlete or I think I saw one guy in here who was talking about how you trained him in North Carolina, and he's like, I'm the big fat guy with the camo pants. But look, man, you're still an athlete. You're out there, you're competing, you're playing a sport, and you're athletic, and you're exerting energy, and you want to be able to do that as effective and as efficiently as possible, which is why everybody packages these products together, and that's why also a lot of you guys follow Greg Sewers or Brandon Unger or Scott Kemp, is they have good routines for everybody to follow and workouts and stuff. So that was really cool about what G2 was doing. I'm glad I got to actually see it firsthand instead of being like, that looks like it sucks. So and obviously everybody who does it, because I did just film a video of sliding and diving, this kind of quick back and forth agility drill for BKI, and one of the things I said in there is a disclaimer. I'm like, look, don't kill yourself doing this. Right? You're gonna, I don't want anybody to hurt themselves doing this. So just make sure you. Yes, Steve Segovia, Vic did jump a hurdle. Not only did he jump not a real, honest to goodness, Olympic hurdle, but it was the little ones. They're 6, 8 inches, 12 inches.
Like a box jump.
Box jump.
Yeah.
Like a 12-inch box jump. But there was a bunch of them. I'll bring up the picture here in a second. But at the end, I was like, everybody's got to do a trick, which nobody really wanted to do. Only Dalton did it, and Tyler and me. But then I made Vic do one, and so he did this little toe tuck. It was like when a rollerblader goes off of a jump and grabs his ankles, and it was good. He has his hand in the air, and he did a big smile. It was great. The great point about that is that he was active in wanting to do it.
Yeah,
I even
yeah.
made him go play a couple points and
Really?
he shot Dalton.
No way.
Twice.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I've
he
never
almost,
seen Vic play.
I know it's on. He definitely didn't put a headband on.
That being said, too, Dave Bain said he was going to suit up this weekend when we practice the field so he can understand the field a little bit better to coach, which I think for any of you coaches out there is a great thing to do. By the way,
that's right.
I mean, I love to like actually be able when I'm coaching a team. I mean, you remember at that WC like I told you I spent all day walking the field in between points. I would run out there for the 45 seconds I had just to like see as much of the field as I can because there's so many little subtleties, you know, that are in the field, especially as a coach, and you got to know that stuff because you, what you expect the teams to have and what you expect them to do, you have to know the field layout as a coach. So.
Yeah, that's actually a good point too, and I know Rusty's suited up a couple times and I want to get in there, and that is right. Like we talked about it. A lot of times a coach is just kind of, if he's not active in there and he's trying to tell you what's going on, like, oh, I think you got shot from over here, or why didn't you do this move? It's like, all right. Sometimes you want to be like, why don't you try? Yeah, right. Which is also why I always say some of the times when I'm ever giving you guys shit when you play on the team, and I'm like, well, how hard is it to get the snake? Like, let me do it. Like, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Like, let me. I'll before I really like give you guys too much shit. Like, I want to try it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's important, right? Before you guys eat anybody's lunch, make sure that you're able to perform the task as well as they can, or at least to some extent.
Sure.
Before you really get down on people.
Yeah.
I like that. Shout out to Andrew Reveal. Welcome to the discounted merch perk. Yeah, I'll be shooting you some discount codes here at the end of the show. So
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the support there. Again, if you guys are members or if you guys join by clicking the join button right next to the subscribe button, you can get the discounted merch perk. You get entered to win specific special members only giveaways. We're giving away this G2 jacket. Actually, next Monday's show is when we're going to announce the winner. There are right now, I believe, 13 members. So right now you have a 1 in 13 chance to win that jacket. Also, every show we give away something to members as well as to everybody who's listening here. We gave away. Actually, I want to say shout out to Sean Byrne. I know Sean Byrne won the BKI subscription, 3 months membership as well. Sean Byrne, I think, won 3 times in a row, 3 weeks in a row. So congrats on all that. However, Sean broke his collarbone playing hockey on Monday night or Sunday night. So I feel bad. Get well soon. And we will be putting your BKI membership on hold so you can really study and whenever you're ready for that. So Sean, I wish you the best. I want you to get well soon, dude. I think you're in here.
Yeah, I saw him in here.
Yeah, I think I saw him in there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thanks for that. For how long are the discount codes? Steve, the discount codes should be good. I'll let you know when or if they are discontinued. Right now, they're kind of indefinitely, probably for a month or two even. I know that there's a sandals code in there for 20% off of Indosole, which is a sustainable flip-flop and sandal company. Again,
Steve Frazier, SoCal Blaze said he's going to get some. He was checking them out.
Yeah, dude, they're super comfortable.
Yeah, he's
really
grabbing a
comfortable.
pair.
And again, that's just a company that I'm not even really a partner with them. I met the owner in Bali. Oliver introduced me to him when I was out there, and I love what they're doing. I think that's a really cool concept. I think that anytime that you can help with conservation, it's great. They use recycled car tires, and it's sustainable. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And I fully endorse their mission, their product. So I said that to them, and they go, give 20% off to everybody in your circle. So that's for the members right now. I think there's 35 pairs. So once they hit 35 pairs, or if we don't, I'll open it up to everybody else as well. So yeah, let's jump into this topic here from Joe Pike, submitted in here over the week. We wanted to do a cool little members or anybody, just viewers spotlight. So Joe wants to discuss the possibility of trying to separate professional and divisional players on a national stage. More professional events with less divisional play mixed with professional play. He's a huge believer in the World Cup and the huge festival aspect, as it should be for the industry. However, I think we need to invest in the local level that creates the host location for professional events. Where we could see events maybe every 4 to 6 weeks, more live streams, more content, etc. for professionals, and have smaller overhead costs that the divisional players are having to prop up with their entrance fees. So yeah, as everybody knows right now, divisional paintball basically pays for the venue. The professional field at the venue is self-sustaining. So basically our entrance fee, which is around $3,000 or $3,500 per event, is what covers that pro field and all the pro refs and the staffing and the netting and the grandstand. So that's all self-sustainable. What props up the rest of the league and the event and all that stuff are the divisional players. So I think what you're trying to say is kind of make everything a little bit smaller. What he's talking about is possibly having more smaller events as a west, a central, and east divisions. And then making
bringing the pro teams to there.
Yeah, bring the pro teams there. Hosts, like all that sort of thing. And then he did mention how the Tampa Bay Rays, which is kind of, I didn't know this, but this is kind of cool. This is like that Moneyball thing, right? So the Tampa Bay Rays, who are in the World Series right now, and I believe it's tied. Their salary cap is $60 million for the entire team, and I think that the Dodgers have a $200 million payroll. I actually heard that statistic over the weekend too. 2 players on the Dodgers, their salary for the entire year can pay for the entire salary of every player on the Rays. That Mookie Betts and then I think the pitcher Kershaw make, I think, a combined $65 million this year alone. Just this year's paycheck is $65 million for the 2 of them, and that the whole team of the Rays only makes $60 million. Oh, Mario!
That's crazy.
Dude, thanks, Mario.
Appreciate it.
So, yeah, and Steve Frazier made a good point. West Coast Series not owned by a paint company, so we can have more vendors open it up to it. Yeah, that's that's a good point. Also, I mean, it's hard though, man. Throwing one thing, Steve, to answer your kind of comment right there is like, it's hard to throw events, and if you don't have an in with a paintball company, then it's gonna be hard to be propped up. So GI and the paintball companies don't like each other, as you can imagine. So GI will never support. And this is the problem: is GI will never support an event or its players at any other field or at any other like non-sponsored league, right? I know that Mike Hinman will gladly go to Texas and sell paint at a GI hosted, sponsored event, but they won't let that. GI won't let the league do that. That's kind of part of their sponsorship. So with that being said, that's tough to kind of get away from it. World Cup is the only one, or NXL, even though NXL, I guess, turned Mike down. They won't let APX at the site. He's like, I'll pay for whatever it costs.
Interesting.
Yeah, Edgar, $3,500 an event is what Dynasty pays. Dude, Mario, you got the horns. Did the horns not work? Hold on. Yeah. There's your horns, Mario. Thanks, guys. So good.
I do like Joe here saying that he'd like to see the format change to force a little bit longer matches. This is something that I've been saying would be really awesome to have, or just more matches. Obviously it's a little bit harder with like the current infrastructure we have. Our schedule is pretty tight as it is, but I do think that having a little bit longer matches too, as he points out, was having 10 to 15 man rosters, so more people are getting more play time, and you're also looking at like, all right, who are my best players? Where do I need to save them maybe towards the end of the tournament? Where can I allocate putting in some other like second and third string players to save these guys, but also make sure that we're performing at a top level, which is a pretty cool aspect. Obviously going back to the Spaceball thing is something they have to do, like with pitchers as well, rotating those guys.
Yeah, and I like that too, right? So back in 2005 to 2008, when we were on a pretty good run, we had a 13 player roster, I think it was.
And I feel like some of those NXL teams, like Trauma back in the day, had like 15
Yeah, they had
guys.
15 guys, right? Yeah. But with that, there was also, I think it was 15-minute halves.
Yeah.
Or 10,
I think it was 25-minute halves.
That was at the very beginning. It was 25-minute halves.
Okay.
But once it started becoming more sustainable, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It was 12.5 balls a second and about 12 to 15 minute halves. But man, that's like, you got to think of the cost for that, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that
the
game's
cost
actually an hour 20 minutes because like the
yeah,
breaks and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And there are 2-minute breaks in between each one, so you definitely needed that depth on the roster. But what you're also looking at there is just what it does is, even if you just did it for the pro, because I think you mentioned here is like just maybe the professional teams, right? It's a longer. So what you're doing now, if you're having a higher rate of fire, you're having more paint consumption.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're creating in my opinion, you're creating a larger gap between the semi-pro and the pro, which are already a huge one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But right now, at least the playing field's level. You don't need to learn anything more going from. You don't need to like learn about having to play for a longer amount of time, or you don't need to like learn a new format or have a huge roster. Like imagine NRG Elite or whatever team goes from semi-pro to pro. The following year has to pick up an extra 5 guys or 6 guys, and now you're like the budget's huge.
Sure.
And if you're a low funded team, you're having to find guys that are able to pay for themselves. So you're kind of like oversaturating your team with weaker talent because they're having to pay for their own expenses.
Yeah.
So you're creating a larger gap.
Sure.
And it also helps out the teams that are heavily funded. Like Dynasty, we're not a heavily funded team anymore. But like imagine, Heat and Impact. We're like, oh, all we need to do is pick up 4 more guys. So we cherry pick some guys off of the better teams, and then we just have a huge budget, so we can just continue to pay all that stuff.
Sure.
And now that increases. That's a great example of like of that salary cap, right? So we're creating a larger gap there, in my opinion, right? So it gets really expensive. Also, so from a dynasty standpoint, right? If we're just barely getting by, sending 7 to 10 guys per event, and, staff, coaching, we get I think we fly about 10 guys out to an event, all expenses paid. If we have to up that by 50% or even 20 to 30%, 12 to 13 guys, that's going to cut into our budget quite a bit more.
Sure.
And we're flying more guys to events and whatnot. Real quick, Slarian. Yeah, buddy.
Hey, dude.
With that said, we're gonna up it, the candy fund. I'm gonna throw in some candy.
We need some more candy.
I know. We need to get another HK or Field 1 shipment to get some candy in there. Another thing that Joe mentioned. Steve, I actually do. What are your thoughts on how Europe did it with like 2, 3, 4 pods?
I was actually gonna bring that up. I think 4 pods would be the best.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
4 pod thing was great.
Yeah, Marcus pointed out something. What if one of the staff counted as an extra player? Yeah, but like that's kind of like going into the guy who played, the guy who played quarterback in high school, who's now your tight end, is going to be your backup quarterback if this dude gets hurt. You can't, and you don't want the guy who's like you're having fill the pods, then be like, oh, is it my turn to play? Okay, and then you swap out. It's almost not degrading, but it's kind of tough. One thing that he did, as far as Joe mentioned, as far as a couple of examples of how to make the visual product better: brightly colored shells, contrasting paint, 2 specific colored fills. To get into that, the PSP did that with not Ghost Sports. Who was it then? Paintball.
PSP.
Yeah, the PSP. What was the production company they used with dye?
Paintball Access.
Paintball Access.
Yeah.
Paintball Access asked the PSP to do that. The PSP actually implemented that and made a referendum that said everybody has to shoot a bright yellow or bright orange paintball, and all the paint companies did that, and then GI goes, nah, we made purple. And then they're like, well, we can't ban GI from being here. So GI kind of just was like the sourpuss at the party, and kind of like ruined that. And then everybody was pissed because everybody spent a ton of time creating this brightly colored paintball. And if everybody knows who plays paintball, if you have a dark purple or dark blue paintball and the bad guys have bright orange, you have a huge advantage because you can see the paint coming at them. Yeah. They can't see the paint going at you. So that was immediately thrown to the wayside because one of the paint manufacturers just didn't want to participate in that.
Yeah, I always thought it. I mean, obviously, I think we're pretty far out of having this, but from a Go Sports, a viewer perspective, is being able to see like tracers with the paintballs. So because you can't, obviously, when you're watching Go Sports, you can't see the paint at all. So you don't really know where people are shooting or what they're doing. If you had that ability to see that, it would be pretty cool.
It would be cool. It would be really cool. Now that everything is the cameras are such higher quality. I think you're absolutely right. I think that would be a cool thing. We just got to make sure that everybody. Yeah, I know, Joe. I know it's a funny fact there. Everybody on the same page. Now, with two specific colored fills, like so, if Impact was using yellow and Dynasty was using pink, that's a cool idea also. Except for those of you guys who are not pros, one thing that you also get when you have a pro coach is paint handling.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of you guys don't know, and a lot of you guys aren't privy to, and I guess a lot of you guys just may not even get access to this, but we go in there and we test every single palette is made from a different batch of paint. So you might have one, and some of you guys have seen this, where in the morning they're like, shoot this is our AM and this is our PM.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually probably 10 or 20 different lot numbers on a truck at a time, and we'll go through in there and test all 20 of them. We'll have a list, and they'll be like, 8-1 is good, 9-3 is good, 6-2 is bad, and they bounce 5 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 or 2 out of 10.
So even just switching a dye color on the external shell or the internal fill is going to change the whole dynamic of how that paintball, the quality of it.
Yeah, and if I have to shoot the pink paint and the pink paint just isn't as brittle and it's 80 or 100 degrees outside and you have the good brittle yellowish fill, I'm going to be pissed and I'm going to be like, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of an issue that you run into with the two specific color fills. And then obviously, get rid of the dark shell. I agree with that.
I mean, and honestly, paint is a very important factor, obviously, to the success or negative results that a team has. And I honestly feel like we have so many variable factors with going into each tournament that if every team was shooting the same paint, that would give a lot more fairness, in my opinion. But it's kind of hard to do that as it is right now, with everyone's different sponsorships. But I think that's a huge contributing factor. Like everyone has different paint. It's like you can bring your own football to the football match.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw what happened there.
You saw what happened there.
Saw what happened there. So it's like, if there could be some consistency with that, I think that would greatly help. But that's obviously one of those things that takes a lot of logistics and negotiating to. I just think, in my eyes, like this is not really attainable at the moment. But like for especially the pro division, I honestly feel like everyone should kind of be shooting the same gun. Everyone should be shooting the same paint.
Agree.
Everyone should have the same hopper, the same like equipment to a certain extent, because that really like shows where the player's ability shines. And at this point too, at least for the top 10 pro teams, all those guys are relatively the same skill. What it comes down to is errors and mistakes and these little factors like paint and whatnot.
Yeah, but I mean, with that said, I like that too. I mean, everybody's guns it's like NASCAR, right? Everybody's guns are about the same. Everybody has to shoot 10.5 balls a second. Everybody's loaders can feed and keep up with that. And I mean, think of surfing. We watch surfing a little bit in the contests and competitions. Everybody's riding the same type of equipment. Yeah. Just slightly different with the manufacturer, right? And they can choose what to use in that. I can choose to use a 12-inch or a 16 or a 14-inch barrel. I can choose to use a larger loader or a smaller tank or bigger tank. So I do like the fact that everybody should choose there, but I do think that everybody should shoot the exact same paint. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. That's like one big factor. But like sometimes I get the advantage and sometimes you have the advantage, right? Yeah. I mean, the HK paint lately has been fantastic, and there's been some events where I'm like, dude, I wish I was shooting that. And I don't know what Infamous was shooting at the last event, but I'm sure in Vegas. But I remember watching them break paint consistently every single time they played, and I'm sure they were like, I wish we could shoot something different. So that's like one unfortunate variable that you can't control is when you get there. Like I'm talking with HK now. I'm talking with the owner of the manufacturer of their paint, like directly with the guy that's the chemist. I'm like, how's it looking? What are we gonna work with here? I'm so eager to get my hands on it to see, because I'm like, I'm you're not nervous, but I'm like, this could be. That's the difference of winning and losing. Sure. Right? You guys all know this. Imagine you're in the finals and you get bounced off the break and you're like, oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Like I just got a freebie. Yeah. So yeah, and Mario Trio. HK paint, all paint kind of runs a little smaller than what it used to. I know, Mario, you've been playing for a long time, but like back in the day, the paint was like truly 6.8. You needed a 6.91 barrel to shoot that stuff. That's what I always use, a 6.91. Now I'm at 6.83 and paint's still rolling through the barrel, and that's a cost thing.
Yeah.
Right. To make a bigger ball costs a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
You got to just material. If your material increases by 10%, so does your cost.
Mm-hmm.
Nickel a ball. That's right. So yeah, those are a couple of things, and I wanted to bring up something that maybe you guys listening. This is kind of Joe sparked this with what he was talking about. Is what do you guys think about, instead of, because he did mention like how cool World Cup is the big festival. What if World Cup was the big grand finale as it is, but then the NXL just hosted the pros? Because right now, as we've noticed, all regional events are thriving, and you guys can comment on here and let us know how your regional events are doing right now. And I'm assuming they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
WC was sold out, but what about like having a pro field at each regional? So right, there's the West Coast events, there's the South, like the Southern MSXBL, there's the MPPP. I don't know. The acronyms are crazy.
Yeah.
There's one on the East Coast. There's Florida. What if they picked the four largest regional events, and then they held one pro event at each one, right? So they just annex off one field. The NXL would bring the pro teams, because right now all the that's being excluded and everything is us.
Yeah.
We're just coaching them, and we get to watch everybody else playing and competing, and there's just nowhere else to do it.
Yeah.
What if the NXL just was like, hey, Mike, we're gonna come out, we're gonna bring all of our stuff, we'll handle the logistics of one field, and we'll play one event at your location, and then we'll go down to Texas and go play one at Paintball Fit.
Yeah.
Do one in Florida. Do one wherever they are. What do you guys there think of that? What do you think of that?
I think that'd be a great idea. I mean, because I think that there's a lot of people also that aren't fortunate enough to come to a lot of the, one of the 5 NXL stops. It's very expensive to go
Right.
do that. So to be able to bring that to your local area and show more people, I think also could help, gain some interest, because they're already there for paintball.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to help the pros interact more with a lot of the younger talent as well, to create new relationships like that, to grow the sport as well. But I think that's a great idea. And, they even with that regional proposal that they said, I know that could probably cost like Go Sports and NXL a little bit more money, especially if they're doing more events.
Yeah, if they do
Because
more events,
regional events. But
so I'd say no. You just pick the biggest ones, and you don't do every single one of theirs. You just do one of each one.
yeah, well, that's what I meant to say.
Okay,
Like
okay.
if you do if you're trying to do 3 or 4 East Coast events and then 3 or 4 West Coast events, like that can be pretty expensive for NXL to go all of those. So to go do a few of these and go to places that already have the infrastructure built, I think is also something that could save them a lot of money. I mean, most of the NXL venues they're not at paintball fields,
Right.
so that's if you go to somewhere that has the infrastructure already, that's saving a lot of money, and you can spend a little bit more money in other areas.
Yeah. Hey, Jay Stu, where is the EPL? Real quickly. Yeah, D's on. So right, exactly. So what I would propose, or what I think it would work out is basically, so there'd still be the World Cup at the end, right? Where the pros would play all 5 events. They play each regional event, and then they'd all go to the World Cup. But the way it would work for everybody else who wants to go to World Cup is basically you'd have to pay a little bit extra into the tournament kitty. Maybe you'd have to, if your local series has 5 events, you have to show up minimum. You have to commit to showing up to 4 of those events of your regionals. So you don't have to travel to all the NXLs.
Sure.
Just do your regional events. You have to show up to maybe 4 or 5 of your events, and then the top 5 or 10 from each division automatically gain entry into the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to qualify for World Cup. Not everybody can just go. You have to be able to, because what it'll do is it'll help boost and support regional paintball.
Sure.
Which right now obviously doesn't need a lot of help.
Yeah.
But it'll keep that experience growing and growing, because you're like, I want to play World Cup, but to play World Cup, I have to play 4 of these local events.
Yeah.
And so it's a great way to do affiliates, and it'd be a points total in each category, in each region, right? So you have to have a specific points to go, and I think that's how you grow local paintball, and you get people. Okay, the East Coast, you said EPLs, New Jersey, Maryland. Yeah, man, that's crazy. That must be the only. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so New Jersey Million. So Boston, what's Anthony's league? Because I think that they're doing
I
pretty
think it's
well.
like the NEPL.
Oh, NEPL,
Yeah.
NEPL, dude. So I get it. Eastern Paintball League, and then the NE is Northeastern. Okay, I'm getting it. This is yeah. It's just too many acronyms for us to go on here. So yeah, I think that would be a cool model for them to do because it would save the NXL a lot of hassle, headache, and cost. We would still be able to play paintball because obviously we need to make sure that we're playing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, OXCC. What we need to do is anybody here from Chicago? Tell me if anybody's from Chicago because I was just out there and there's no tournaments up there.
Really?
There's no like major tournament league.
I feel like there used to be.
That's
lot
like
of
the
paintball
place.
there. Yeah.
Like that Chicago seems like it's one of the biggest and best places. Now that whole I don't want to call Chicago, but like that Midwest area.
Yeah.
Whatever states in Illinois,
What's
Michigan,
yeah.
Missouri.
Pull up the map.
I need to pull up the map
Yeah,
here.
I need to refresh on our geography.
The MPBL, Chicago has the street ball league. Yeah, usually anything that's called the street ball league isn't just kind of has a negative connotation to it. But yeah, I think that's a cool way to keep everybody in a Wisconsin Siege, Midwest Paintball Players League, MPPL. Dizon, how do you know all this stuff? Dude, you've got way
like
too
a
much
glossary of
information. I know.
paintball. I love it.
We need to make you a moderator, Dizon.
The one thing I could see maybe potentially being an issue, but I'm sure that could be worked out easily, is that NXL would still want to find a way to keep their revenue stream strong.
Well, so their revenue in this model would come from so basically it would come from World Cup. They would they would be one big event, right?
Because you think
all
that's
of the,
enough from not having
well,
4 other events.
Well, if they do this, then what they could do is okay. So say there's a team that's good, and take the Hunters for example.
Yeah.
Okay, the Hunters are a team out here that are really good. D3, they won that last one.
They won Vegas.
Yeah, they're gonna probably win. But what if they don't want to go to World Cup? Maybe they're like, we don't have the budget to go out there. We're just gonna play our little bubble here and travel as far as Vegas, and that's it.
Sure.
So, but if they win the thing, then they're like, well, we have a trip to World Cup that we're not going to go to, right? So what if everybody who was planning on playing World Cup, every team just paid an extra $100, right? So if you're like, I think I have a shot, and I also want to be in contention, I just got to make top 10. At every event, you pay an extra $100, and that goes towards World Cup entry fee or something like that. So basically, you have 100 teams at the M or whatever.
It's like an insurance.
It's an insurance, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're betting on the fact
so
I'm going to
every
qualify.
team, like out of all 30 teams in a division, every
Right.
team has to
Well,
pay
not
that.
everybody has to, but everybody who wants to be included in the World Cup bid. So there could be a team that's like, I'm not going to World Cup, and we're probably not going to make top 10. I'm not going to pay it.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a team that's like, our goal is to go play World Cup. Luckily, I don't have to play all these other events and then go there. I can stay in my bubble. I can save some money. But what I'll do is the NXL will charge an extra $100 or $50 on top of your entrance fee, and that will get you on top of the qualification. That will get you entered into qualification.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nominal amount of money, but then say you have 100 teams, and then 50 of them are all bidding for everybody puts an extra $100 per event.
That's covering some of the
Yeah,
costs.
yeah,
that
you're
NXL
getting an
not
extra
throwing on
$25,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then you're only taking the top 20 of those teams, so that kind of covers some of those expenses.
you. Sure.
Pays for the NXL staffing, and then World Cup is a bigger event.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all spitballing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Dizon already has the math figured out, though. So if you want to, hit us with the details.
I mean, I
there.
think with just something like that, you probably have to have, almost some type of commitment for if you do want to start.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah.
For those 4 events, even those 4 regional events that you play, if you for some reason can't or decide not to play one of those regional events, which may knock you out of being able to play a World Cup, you still committed to having to pay that extra 150 for that tournament, because that goes to the NXL infrastructure that we're offering. So that would obviously, I think, something that would be important, because to me, the NXL not being able to if they're only going to throw World Cup, they're kind of losing a lot of money on not having those 4 other events.
Yeah, but they're losing money kind of, because they're also not spending all that money, right? So you're shortening your revenue, your gross revenue, but you could be increasing your net revenue because you're not having to tote around a field of a carnival to 5 different things. You just throw one big carnival.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For a week. and then everything else is already done. You just kind of like bring the small little pro field around, which is already paid for by our entrance fee anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The what is it? $70,000 worth of entrance fee you're getting from every single from the pro teams combined.
Yeah.
20 pros paying $3,500 a piece. That is going to pay for each one of those things and people to go there.
Yeah.
And then you have the local event set up the whole thing.
Sure.
Right. And you make a big, huge event at World Cup, which I mean, World Cup in the past, aside from this year, has had 5,000, 10,000 people at it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. And yeah, J Stu Productions and Dizon. I was talking to Anthony about getting possibly next year, but just having a BKI team at every NXL. I think that would be a cool idea.
Yeah.
If you're a BKI member, you're automatically already you got an entrance fee covered. You just got to come in there, and I'm sure Anthony was willing to help with paint, and we just get his crew together.
Yeah.
We have over 350 members right now. Plus, we have all the camp crew. Everybody who's been in a combine, just everybody can. If you don't have a team, jump out there.
Yeah.
And find somebody.
Like
so
that.
yeah, I think, and I mean right now a BKI team. Obviously, a lot of the BKI players are already spoken for, but you get some of those camp guys. You get Will out there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Will, I got a great factoid from Sean Stern this weekend, and I'm sure that Logan Hansel doesn't watch our show. But Logan Hansel, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a little SHIT talker. So Logan Hansel was obviously at that USA practice the other weekend, talking all sorts of smack, which he does all the time.
Yeah.
And Dizon, you'll appreciate this, and everybody else who was at summer camp. I guess he was like, "Hey, Paulie, I'll bet you $20," and he got calling little William out. Was like, "I'll bet you I could beat Will in a one-on-one. I'll bet you $20. Will, you got $20?" And Paulie was like, "All right, I'll put up the $20, but you got to pay me if you win or if you lose." And and William smokes Hansel, and then Will, I guess Paulie gave Will $20. I think Will probably gave it back.
Yeah,
He's like, sorry,
Yeah.
And then Hansel was talking more shit, and then he said he was called out Colton, and then Colton smoked him.
That's great.
But I guess it was bad. Like, they smoked him bad on each one.
Just like
So
straight
shout out
goggles
to
or something.
shout out to Colton and Will for putting Hansel in his place. I wasn't able to beat him in that foot race, but I appreciate you guys sticking up for me.
That was great.
That was so good. So shout out to Will and
That's
and
awesome.
Colton. So yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, Joe, I think what you're talking about, we're onto something, and there definitely can be a way to change up how paintball is viewed and how they play on that big thing. But that was kind of the downfall of the PSP also. Everybody's like, you guys keep going to shitty local venues. We need to go to cool venues. Whatever happened to going to stadiums? And then everybody raised their pitchforks and pushed the PSP out, and then we have the NXL going to all these expensive venues.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, it's cost us too much money.
Yeah.
Lower the prices, and it's like, so you can't ever make everybody happy.
Yeah.
As everybody,
Hard to win.
Yeah, as everybody knows, right now, with everything going on in the world, can't make everybody happy. So yeah, Marcus. So Marcus King gave us a topic to talk about, but we're running low on time, so we're gonna get to it next week. It was kind of just talking about injuries and how do you deal with injuries. Have we ever sustained any injuries? So we're gonna actually talk about that one next week after Halloween, and then that way we can get to your guys' giveaways, all the stuff that we're gonna give away this week. I know you guys are looking into that. Before we do that, does anybody have any other questions that you guys want us to go over? I know we made that last one a little long-winded, so want to thank everybody, all the members in here. As you guys can see in the chat box to your right, it's lit up with all the green logos. So thanks, Joe, Dizon,
Yeah, we
Forky,
appreciate you guys so much.
Frazier, Mario, all you guys. Appreciate all your support, but we also appreciate you guys being really and also Randy, also being really active here in the chat. And look at that. Our viewers to like ratio is much better on this one.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Great viewer to like ratio right there. And as always, and we're gonna give some stuff away, but we want to make sure that everybody who's viewing this thing during the week and it's not live, that you guys drop a comment, hit a like, and a share. Oh, look at that.
Thanks, Joe.
Was that Joe?
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. Really appreciate the support. I hope your dentistry work. I know he had to move around a dentist appointment today,
Oh,
so
wow.
he could be here. I told him
That's
to put
awesome.
some headphones in, but he made the appointment pushed the appointment back a little bit.
That's great.
I
Thank
hope you
dude.
didn't eat a smoked trout fillet before you visited the dentist, because he would have been pissed. Dizon, go pick up your wife if you left her at the grocery store. But yeah, again, guys, we do appreciate all that support that you guys are giving us. It does help for us to create some great content. Also, pay for the shipping on all your guys' stuff, and then get you guys some cool content to give away and things like that. So with that being said, next week for you guys who are members, we're giving away this G2 paintball jacket, and we might sweeten up the pot because the temperature has dropped from 85 to 95 inside this room to like a cool 75.
Yeah, it's
so what
nice
that
now.
means, the seasons are changing. So we're gonna give away 2 sweatshirts, we're gonna give away the jacket and this BKI camouflage hoodie. That'll be next week. Okay. So members, make sure you guys join on any of the perks that you guys have. If you guys are the super mega ultimate supporters, you guys will be entered to, or you guys will automatically get one of the posters that we created. Shout out to J Stu.
Yeah,
Discounted merch perk. You're going to be getting your,
Welcome.
discount code. Also, let me put this in really quickly. Where is it? Want to thank G2paintball.com. They're giving away all this stuff. So actually, right now, I'm just going to drop this. I'm going to give away this right now to one of you guys that are out there. Just somebody in the chat is going to get this signed G2 paintball athletic shirt. It's signed by everybody on Dynasty. So this is to thank G2 for their support, their continued support.
It's awesome.
To everybody out there. So Kyle, as always, is going to come up with some sort of contest to make you guys win. So for everybody who's currently in the live chat right now, Kyle's going to hit you there.
All right.
While he's thinking of that, I just got this. It's kind of cool. Actually, I haven't quite used them yet. It's a company called Lock Laces. There's shoes right here. Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. They just sent me these, so basically it replaces your laces. I think they look cool. They seem like they could be cool. One of you guys, one of the members, you guys are gonna tell me because I'm gonna send this to you along with a sticker pack. So one member is gonna win this one. One random viewer is gonna win this G2 shirt. So you're getting a sticker pack and a neck gaiter if you don't already have one. So these 2 items are going to come to one of the members currently. And then Kyle, what do you got?
I was thinking of a good question, a quiz here. If you guys can remember one of the 2 old Dynasty players, the posters that I had on my wall that were coaches. You remember what I said for those 2? I'll write it down for you.
Okay. So wait, what's the question though?
So, if anyone can remember who that has been watching our show, who were one of the 2 guys that I said I had posters on my wall of, old Dynasty retired players.
And he was a player and a coach.
He was a player on
Right,
Dynasty and then became a coach.
Okay. So a player that was on Dynasty. So there's multiple answers for this.
Yeah, I said just pick one. There you
I
go.
got it right there.
4Key66.
4Key66,
There
Rodney
you go.
Squires. Okay, you win. Also, J Stu, if you look at these shoes, these are women's shoes. While they will fit Kyle, they don't fit me. So these aren't my shoes. These are Camille's shoes. So
I guess you could use the other one as another
Okay.
something to give away. Oh, well, someone already put it.
Okay. So, yep. Oh, but you know what? Mario's also right. But you didn't have a poster yet.
No. I didn't have a poster.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't. So Mario, you are right, but that wasn't on the poster. So 4Key66 is a winner, and Dizon, you're the other winner. Skinny Kevin, SK. So 4Key66 and Dizon are the 2 winners. Forky, you have a Rodney Squires jersey? No way. All right. Well, Forky, shoot me your address. I'm going to ship you this. Dizon, I have your address. So you're going to win these laces. I have a couple different colors. You can get red or black or blue or rainbow. You do live in San Francisco. This might be...
Who sent those to you?
I don't know, lock laces. They sent Camille a pair of shoes. So they sent Camille a pair of shoes, and they sent me a bunch of these laces. You want the rainbow ones?
I would get beat up for wearing those at school.
That's cool. We got pink for the wife, Dizon, if you want that. Anyway, we got a bunch of stuff. Also, for those members who just signed up today for the discounted merch perk, I will be hitting you guys with the HK Army discounts, as well as a Field 1 discount will be happening ASAP here. I'm gonna hit you with that, and then also a couple other ones. I think we're still working on the carbon one.
Yeah,
you gotta get on that one.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Oh yeah, Sloane's here, but she does not like the alien. Oh no, she likes.
But
it.
now yeah.
Yeah, last year Sloane was really scared of the alien.
Terrified. Had a year for her to grow.
But now she's kind of pumped. The alien abduction. And for those of you guys who are asking what this shirt is, this is actually, I'm glad it's not a week ago, but this is actually a full body space suit.
I noticed the price tag is still in your left armpit.
Oh yeah. Oh, $19.99. I should leave this
steal,
on.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. So
from the NASA outlet store.
Yeah, I got it. I got this when I was training to be an astronaut, and then I just left the price tag on it. Yeah.
Decided to go the paintball route.
I try. Yeah. When you apply for NASA, you got to bring your own suit. It's like the 9th green at 9 thing from Happy Gilmore. I think it was a joke. So yeah, guys, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, Marcus King, we're gonna get to your topic next week. Hey, Forky, dude, you rock. Air horn for you. Yeah, air horn. I'm gonna give another air horn here for everybody involved. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Obviously, Forky, shoot us your address. Actually, wait, I think we have it already.
We might, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, we did have one question. Sorry, I want to ask this question. Where was it? It was Loyal Blue Fox. Why don't you answer this one, Kyle? You want to come up here?
Loyal Blue Fox said, I've only caught your stream once or twice. What makes a BKI membership worth it? Well, essentially, we've created a database for every single possible thing you could want to know, whether it's from beginner things to advanced concepts in paintball theory, from how to hold your gun to what you do in specific high level situations, and it's constantly updating, and not only besides like the content that you get from this digital age that we live in, of just like previously just going to YouTube and trying to learn as much as you can, which I know I did as a kid. Now you have this database of anything you could possibly want to know from some of the best professionals in the game, and then besides that, you're building these relationships with these professional guys and becoming on the radar. Just like a lot of these younger guys that we're talking about, has started, with even just signing up for BKI and watching that. I mean, like we talked about, Mike Arena for the last few days, and some of these other players that have moved up, and it's like it's just doing those small things, and it was I was actually reading this book on entrepreneurship, and it was talking about luck, and it was saying that a lot of times people say they get lucky, and I got luck, but the only way that you get lucky is because you do all the small things building up to it.
Yeah, you build your own luck.
Yeah, so you
put yourself in the position to become lucky.
Yeah, becoming knowledgeable about all these other little things, so that when the opportunity does present itself of luck, you place yourself to be there, and that's a great thing about BKI. So it's just all building up to when you have an opportunity, you're going to be ready to take that. Yeah,
and it's a great way to get direct access to pros, right? So you have not only the database, which has over 400 pieces of content, but like you said, you can start anywhere from like how to start off the box, which I guarantee you're probably doing wrong if you haven't really heard somebody. It's like the little trivial things, like in the organizational side of things. There's so many small, minute aspects of nuances of your game that you can dissect by becoming a member. And one of the best ways to one of the best ways to say that this is such a good concept is I think there's now 7 pros or 5 or 6, 7 pros or players currently that are playing pro who use the BKI platform to get there. We've got Colton and Ben who are playing semi-pro for the first time at World Cup. We've got a ton of the USA kids who are right around the corner from becoming pro. Yeah. And those guys are all part of the BKI program. They all subscribe to the platform. But if you don't want to just believe us, Mario is a great example. His son, Brandon, who we were just talking about, and Kyle was saying how he's doing such a good job and playing against Alex Goldman and all the other pros, and he was the one that they had to watch out for. Obviously, Brandon works incredibly hard and plays a lot of paintball, but all the concepts and the core concepts of the drills and what to do all comes from those types of discussions and looking at the BKI platform. Yeah. If you're going out there and you're just kind of executing drills that you saw, but you don't really understand why you're doing it, this will help fast track you through that. Sure. And then with that said, obviously, any chance you can get to go and do a clinic with an actual pro, you want to do that. But we can't be everywhere, and you can't obviously always be where we're at. So this is a great way to have direct access to us. Isn't that right? Is that right? And then finally, just sign up for the free account. Check out some of the sections on there. There's a lot of stuff that you can just see and kind of get an idea and a feel for it. Yeah. There's a ton of free content on there, and there's a freemium section in particular that has 5 paid drills in it that are behind the paywall, and you're going to be able to see really what we're talking about. Whether it's the film room, like you said, Marcelo does a really good job of the film room breakdowns, the field breakdowns, teamwork drills, or form and body mechanic. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there that a lot of the guys on here, especially if you see a green, their name's in green, and you see a little icon by their name, most of those guys are BKI members, and
see how our brains work.
Yeah, you see how our brains work. Hey Sloan, do you think the BKI program's good? Ticky. All right. Well, anyway, hopefully that answered your question. That was a good question, of course. And yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate everything.
See you guys in November.
Free content has and we also have the Dirter videos, right? If you don't want to learn much, you just want to see mashups, check out the Dirter videos. Yeah. Loyal Blue Fox, there is a link down below in the description. There's a bunch of descriptions in there, links in there for some of the sponsors. I don't know, what do we have in the links in the bio? Scroll down there. What do we got? We got the BKI link. We've got the Members Club link. We've got G2 Paintball in there. We got the Signature Series line. I know someone was asking about that. Is full in there. The music that we're about to play right now, courtesy of Red Giant Project. I know you were mentioning that. Wow. Let's just shoot that up. So the music playing in the background, courtesy of my buddy Berkey and Red Giant Project, also Vocab Company. So yeah, we really appreciate everybody for your guys' support. I'm gonna go take this spacesuit off because I'm starting to get pretty warm, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later, guys. Thank you. Guys. Happy Halloween. Cannot breathe. Cannot breathe. Cannot see. Cannot breathe. To go to bed. Cannot see. Cannot breathe. To go to bed. Cannot see. To go to bed. Cannot look in between. I cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between. I
cannot breathe, I can't see, I can't look in between.
Jag kan inte andas när jag ser hur det går iväg. Jag kan inte andas när jag ser hur det går iväg.